Hi, I'm Floyd Jones, and I'm a collector of many different things, mostly antique objects.
To collect most?
I think black art. Because as a child, you know, you would go to the museum with the school and there were never any black paintings, never any black people there. You know, you wonder, you know, and they may have a painting by a black artist, but it's a landscape. So as a kid, you want to see an image like yourself. So I'm looking for, you know, black things. Even, you know, as a kid, I remember when black people were on TV, everyone in the neighborhood would be notified that someone black is going to be on TV. And
where do you collect?
Everywhere. Any
Everywhere
place.
Where? In the world? You go
the whole world. You know, a lot of times in Europe and from New York to California, from New York to Florida, from New York to Mexico, from New York to London, from New York to Germany, from New York to Spain and Portugal. Most of the time I have a destination. Either I have friends here or I've met people there. And the first time I started buying things from Europe was because one of my co-workers had a job there. And I was collecting dolls at the time. And we went to a couple of antique shops and they had really dolls that I had never seen for sale before, unusual things. And some were expensive and some were reasonable. It has, to me, when I collect, it has to be something that's pleasing to my eye, something that I can look at on a daily basis.
So beauty.
Beauty.
Number one.
Yep.
What else?
And quality.
Quality.
You can always tell quality, even when you don't know what something is worth. You know when the price is too reasonable. You may, you know, if you look at something, you see the workmanship, and then you think, it's like looking at a piece of Tiffany jewelry versus a piece of costume jewelry. You don't know what it's worth, but you know that the quality's in this piece.
You know a diamond from a crystal, right?
Crystal, that's true. It's sometimes the value to me is based on how much money I have. Yeah,
Real
you
simple,
know,
huh?
yes. Say they may be asking $100 and I'm only willing to pay $25. So that sort of determines it. Also, what the market will bear. I look at it from the aspect of if I can double my money or triple my money, and there are also books you can read. Like there's a blue book of dolls, but it's only a guide because sometimes they don't have every doll in there that you're going to run across. And sometimes they have a doll in there for $100 that I haven't seen in 10 years. So I know it's worth more than 100. People have different interests. The interests for dolls change. Once an article is in a magazine, you know, it's no different than fashion. You know, once if some wealthy person is buying these type of dolls, everyone else follows suit, just like fashion. Because you buy things that are useful. You don't buy things that you're going to put in a cabinet. Or whatever. Beauty is important to you. I've seen people, they will spend more money on clothes than they will spend on their home. You know, and teaching people to have an interest in something is the basis of collecting. If you have an interest, you meet all different types of people. I've met people from all over the world. I try to direct them towards something that's quality, that's also, are you doing a movie from the time period of the 30s?
You worked on The Untouchables.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
A stylist came to a shop that I had on Damon, and he says that we're looking for things for The Untouchables. you know, paintings and stuff. And he ended up renting 2 or 3 black paintings. He ended up renting some furniture. So it was interesting, you know, there are so many different aspects of being a dealer and a collector. The price is very high, but there's a really good story behind it. Like, for example, there is a black doll maker in Georgia, and he was distributing dolls through a white distributor. And unfortunately, his wife and the white distributor fell in love. And she ran off with the white distributor. After that, every doll that he made had a tear on it. And his name was Leo Moss. It was a very few black doll artists in terms of making dolls. And when you look at dolls being manufactured, some of them were white molds painted black, not necessarily with Negroid features. You know, you can look and see it may have a pointed nose. It may
Skin
have,
tone.
Yeah, skin tone. May have thin lips, you know. And to me, I was looking more at a likeness for what I collected. You know, it just made a difference.
Listen, you got
Okay.
you got a couple of really interesting paintings. Tell me about that one.
I bought that from another dealer in Chicago, and I just liked it.
I like it too.
Couldn't find out anything about the artist, but it was done in 1947.
So that might be part of WPA?
It could be,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
And that was the period when they paid artists, the government paid them to paint things.
What would the price of that be?
Anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500. I like this one because it's a mother and child, and I tend to like anything to do with children. When you buy a painting, the framing is so important to present the painting.
So you bought these framed?
Separately.
Okay.
No, some I bought, I framed them. Or I found the molding and had someone frame it.
Had in house.
Yes.
And she looks like quite the lady.
Okay.
So tell me about that doll.
She's a French doll.
That's a French doll.
Yep, and she's made by Steiner.
Porcelain?
The head is porcelain and the arms are porcelain. And a lot of these things help determine the value. And she's got open, close eyes, but it's on a lever that you can open and close them. The wig is made of human hair. She also has a trunk with 3 other pair of shoes and 4 dresses and
A wardrobe.
a wardrobe.
And then she's on a chase.
A period chase
A period
from the 1800s. Some of the chase were made for salesman sample, but a lot of them were also made for kids to display their dolls. For the doll in the wardrobe, you're looking at about $8,000. For the chase, you're looking at anywhere from $450 to $650.
Okay.
Or $450.
So I'm going to Target and do a Barbie.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So now we have another doll. This is another doll set, and here's the wardrobe.
Yeah, for the other doll that we just saw.
right.
And this, I set this up this way because
I
these
got a
are
black
both
doll.
and a white doll. These were German dolls, and
The
this,
black doll too?
both are German. They're made by the same maker, and this was made by a German maker called Kessner, and it's called the Bilo Baby. That's $1,800.
Now, would this be considered, is this a blanket? Is it a bedspread?
It's functional.
Is it it's functional?
Functional. It was used in a bed. And it looks like everything, all the material was scrap material. You can tell when they use scrap material. And that's mostly what black people had when they made quilts.
Now, this is full size,
Yes.
good for the bed. What would this cost?
$1,000 to $1,200.
Authentic.
Authentic, yep, and and luckily being made by black people doubles the value.
Doubles the value.
Value, yes. You don't get many made by black people, and unfortunately, we're more collectible than we used to be.
Tell me about this.
This is an artist doll. The maker is a guy from New England, R. John Wright, and it's a gollywog.
A gollywog.
Gollywog,
A gollywog
is in English, it was a children's book. And the gollywogs helped all the soldiers that were injured in wars.
Help them how? How did this help them?
They were medics. They put splints on their broken legs. They did tourniquets. They did all different types of things for the soldiers. So it's a really good story.
Now here's a Asian doll.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about the Asian doll.
It was made for a souvenir. If you went to China or you went to Japan, they were souvenir type dolls. And the dress probably denotes the area or the region that she was from.
The kimono.
Yes. This is more for, if you notice that it looks more African than American.
Okay.
They've done a decent job on this because a lot of dolls, they just took a white doll and painted it black. But this one has actual curly hair, or as we say, nappy hair. It has lips, it has brown eyes, because sometimes they took a black doll and put blue eyes in it. That's a Masonic hat. It's, yep, it came, it's for someone that was a member of Masons. And this came in the original box, has all the spats.
How much is that?
$400.
And that comes from, that's an English property, right?
It's American.
That's American?
American, yes. It's made out of cast iron. It was used to heat homes. You burn coal or small pieces of wood in it.
Did you cook in it?
You could cook on top of it, or you could warm things on top of it. But it was mostly used for heat. You can see how the metal is perforated all around so the heat comes out. And cast iron luckily holds heat.